Joseph Pfeiffer versus Dustin Stollfus is a middleweight bout. Joseph Pfeiffer has achieved a record of 7 wins, 1 loss. Dustin Stollfus has achieved a record of 12 wins, 1 loss. Alright, so Joseph Pfeiffer is actually ranked 1st in Pennsylvania, while Dustin is actually ranked 104th at middleweight worldwide. Alright, so Joseph Pfeiffer started his pro career off with 6 straight wins, 3 that were by KO, 2 by submission, and 1 by decision. Now, after those 6 straight wins, he fought Jonathan Potty, but he ended up getting submitted from a guillotine choke in the second round. Now, after his first loss, he came back with a second round KO victory over Chase Gamble. Alright, now, let's take a look at his opponent, Dustin Stollfus. Alright, so Dustin Stollfus started his pro career with 3 decision wins in a row, but in his 4th fight, he ended up losing a close fight to Christian Skorks by decision. Now, after that first loss, he actually has not lost since, as he went on an amazing 9-fight win streak, 1 that was by KO, 1 by disqualification, 2 by decision, and a total of 5 of his wins by submission. Alright, so this is somewhat a striker versus grappling bout, as Joseph Pfeiffer has gotten most of his wins by KO, and that is usually how he gets his wins, while Dustin is the opposite, as he gets most of his wins by submission, and when he doesn't get the submission, he dominates on the ground and gets the decision win. Alright, so because Stollfus' submissions are just so good, and he has such a variety of tactics he can use on the less experienced fighter in Joseph Pfeiffer, I'm going to have to give the win to Dustin Stollfus by submission in the second round. Alright, if you agree, disagree, or have something to say, make sure to put in the comment section below, and I'll make sure back to every single one of those comments. Make sure to like, subscribe with notifications turned on so you don't miss the absolute best MMA content out there. It's been fun, but I'm out of here. Adrian Yanez versus Brady Huang is a bantamweight bout. Adrian Yanez has achieved a record of 10 wins, 3 losses. Brady Huang has achieved a record of 11 wins, 1 loss. Alright, so Adrian Yanez is actually ranked 30th in the U.S. at bantamweight, and Brady Huang is ranked 21st in the U.S. at bantamweight. Alright, so Adrian Yanez started his pro career with a 3rd round KO, but sadly in his second fight, he ended up getting his first loss by unanimous decision. Now, after his first loss, he ended up going on a 4-fight win streak, 2 of which were by submission, and after those 4 straight wins, he actually ended up joining the LFA, but ended up losing a close bout to Domingo Pilarte by split decision. Now, after his second pro loss, he won 2 straight fights inside the LFA, 1 that was by decision, and 1 that was by first round KO. Now, after those 2 wins, he ended up losing another close fight to Miles Johns by decision. Now, since that 3rd loss, he actually has not lost since, as he is currently riding a 3-fight win streak, 2 of which that were by KO in the first and second round, and 1 that was a very close fight by split decision. Now, let's take a look at his opponent, Brady Huang. Alright, so Brady Huang has had an even better start to his pro career, as he started off with 8 straight wins, 5 that were by KO, 2 that were by submission, and after those 8 straight wins, he ended up fighting a 2-time UFC fighter in Martin Day, but ended up getting KO'd in the second round. Now, after his first ever loss against a UFC fighter, he actually did not lose again, as he is currently riding a 3-fight win streak, 1 of which that was by first round KO, 1 by first round submission, and 1 that was by unanimous decision. Alright, so these fighters are both really good fighters, but I gotta say, Adrian Yanez has been in so many fights against much worse opponents than Brady Huang that could have honestly gone either way, as they were split decisions. And because Brady Huang is a real MMA fighter with plenty of submissions and plenty of KOs, he's so well-rounded, and I think with that, he's going to get the win by second round KO, giving him a spot on the UFC roster. Alright, if you agree, disagree, or just have something to say, make sure to put it in the comment section below, and I'll make sure to back to every single one of those comments. Make sure to like, subscribe with notifications turned on so you don't miss the absolute best MMA content out there. It's been fun, but I'm out of here. Vanessa Demopoulos versus Corey McKenna is a strawweight bout. Vanessa Demopoulos has achieved a record of 5 wins, 1 loss. Corey McKenna has achieved a record of 4 wins, 1 loss. Alright, so Vanessa Demopoulos is actually ranked 53rd at strawweight, while her opponent, Corey McKenna, is ranked 47th at strawweight. Alright, so Vanessa Demopoulos started off her pro career with a first-round armbar over Emmy Weber, which got her a shot into the LFA. But she ended up fighting Isla Esquivel in her next fight, and ended up losing by unanimous decision. Now, after her first loss, she had 4 more fights inside of the LFA, and ended up winning every single one of them, 2 that were by submission, and 2 that were by unanimous decision. Now, after that 4-fight win streak, she was invited onto Dana White's Contender Series to fight Corey McKenna. Speaking of which, Corey McKenna has had 5 pro fights, with all of them coming inside of Cage Warriors. In her first 2 fights, she ended up winning 1 because her opponents actually retired during the fight, and 1 where she won by split decision. Now, after those 2 wins, she fought Mikkel Desegni, but ended up losing that fight by split decision. After her first pro MMA loss, she got a second-round rear-naked choke win over Fanny Redmond and a first-round TKO over Yula Chinello. Alright, so Vanessa Demopoulos is more of a submission type, as most of her wins were finished by submission, but her opponent, Corey McKenna, is more of a striker. Alright, so because I think Vanessa is going to be able to take down Corey and just do very well and dominate on the ground, I think she'll use that to get the win by unanimous decision. Alright, if you agree, disagree, or have something to say, make sure to put in the comment section below, and I'll make sure to back to every single one of those comments. Make sure to like, subscribe with notifications turned on so you don't miss the absolute best MMA content out there. It's been fun, but I'm out of here. TJ Laramie versus Daniel Swain is a featherweight bout. TJ Laramie has achieved a record of 11 wins, 3 losses. Daniel Swain has achieved a record of 20 wins, 9 losses, and 1 draw. Alright, so Daniel Swain has actually been fighting as a pro in MMA since 2010, and so far he has 20 wins, 5 that were by KO, 3 by decision, and a whopping 12 wins that were by submission. Now, in his 9 losses, though, 2 of them were by decision, 2 were by submission, and a total of 5 of those losses were by KO, as his striking game is not nearly as good as his grappling game. Alright, now, let's take a look at his opponent, TJ Laramie. Alright, so TJ Laramie is sort of an opposite to his opponent, as he likes to get the win by KO, as 3 of his wins were by decision, 2 of them were by submission, and a total of 6 of them were by KO. Now, with his excellent striking, he has a very good takedown defense, which will help against a guy like Daniel Swain, who just likes to take you down and submit you. Now, in this fight, I see Daniel maybe landing just 1 takedown the whole entire fight, but specifically in the first round, and I see him using a lot of energy on more takedowns after that, and it's just going to make him really tired, and I think TJ will use that to his advantage, and just land a lot of strikes, which will tire Daniel up, and he'll end up dominating the fight, getting the win by unanimous decision. Alright, if you agree, disagree, or have something to say, make sure to put it in the comment section below, and I'll make sure to react to every single one of those comments. Make sure to like, subscribe with notifications turned on so you don't miss the absolute best MMA content out there. It's been fun, but I'm out of here. Anthony Adams versus Impa Kasangane is a middleweight bout. Anthony Adams has achieved a record of 8 wins with only 1 loss. Impa Kasangane has achieved a record of 6 wins with absolutely no losses. Alright, so Anthony Adams is actually 32 years old, while Impa Kasangane is actually only 26 years old. Alright, so Anthony Adams started his pro career in SCL, and he had 7 straight wins, all by decision, with 2 of them coming by split decision. Now, after those 7 straight wins, he was invited onto Dana White's Contender Series, and he fought Chimwekem Onyeka, but ended up losing the fight by split decision. Now, after that loss, he joined the LFA and fought Josh Cavan and ended up getting the win by KO in the first round. Alright, now, let's take a look at his opponent, Impa Kazangane. Alright, so Impa Kazangane has 4 fights outside of major promotions, and so far he's won 2 by decision, 1 by TKO, and 1 by submission. Now, after those 4 straight wins, he had a fight inside of the LFA against Devorius Tubbs, and ended up getting the close win by split decision. Now, after that win, he was actually invited onto Dana White's Contender Series for the first time, and ended up getting the win by unanimous decision, but sadly, it wasn't enough for Dana White, so he wasn't granted a UFC contract. Alright, so these 2 fighters have so far been really good in their careers, but seeing as Anthony Adams had his first pro fight in 2016, and he is 32 years old at the time of this recording, and the younger fighter in Impa Kazangane has 6 fights just in the last year, and so far has won all of them, 2 of them being inside major promotions like LFA and the Contender Series, that leads to my decision. I think Impa Kazangane is going to get the win by unanimous decision. Alright, if you agree, disagree, or just have something to say, make sure to put in the comment section below, and I'll make sure to back to every single one of those comments. Make sure to like, subscribe with notifications turned on so you guys don't miss the absolute best MMA content out there. It's been fun, but I'm out of here.